Okay, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you for joining. It is our 14th episode of I've Got Cancer, So What? Okay, we are moving so fast. We just started a few months ago and we're already on our 14th episode. And I'm super glad. We've had lots of people join us on this call. Thank you so much for those who have been consistent. And to all our guests, thank you for joining us. This is our last episode for the month of June. Remember that we do this, we come together as one community thinking about cancer and talking about it the way we should talk about it. There's nothing to hide about cancer anymore. So we do this every second and third Thursday of the month, where we bring in cancer warriors, survivors, caregivers to talk about cancer freely. Like I mentioned, there's nothing to hide anymore. And we've passed the era of stigma. Now is for you to connect with people, knowing that lots of people have survived cancer, loads of people. I know some of you joined us during our Survivors Day, our hangout, and from that you already know that people are surviving cancer, so it's no longer a death sentence. Some people die just like every other person. People die of malaria, people die of headache and everything. Just like you wake up, you sleep, you will not wake up. People die from little big things, but we can't just keep saying that once you have cancer you're a dead person. No, there are hopes everywhere. People are trying to find ways to live through cancer and also not allow cancer to take away their life. So it's been an amazing journey with so many people, and we've had 23-year-old survivors and 15-year-old. We've had 5 years. Like, there is hope out there, and I'm saying this for those who are joining us newly. And if you're just being diagnosed, please have faith. The reason why we started up this is to build our mental capability to deal with cancer. The well-being of cancer warriors and caregivers are very important to us. That's why we call it Phlorish Cancer Wellbeing Initiative. It's not about, no, we don't want to talk about cancer. Here we call it its name. It's cancer, is cancer. There is nothing like the C word. We call it cancer. Like you know, my name is Flora Gaptoni. Everyone calls me Flourishing Flora, and I love the name Flourishing Flora because, hey, no matter what happens with us, we keep flourishing. And I'm your host again today, and I'll be speaking with another male cancer survivor. Sometimes it looks like we have more female, especially because of breast cancer on the call, but then we've had male survivors who had joined us, and today we have another male. The last time we had a male survivor was associate professor who happens to who went through prostate cancer, and then he's still back doing his work, even when the doctor said after going through this treatment he will not work again, he will not drive again. But hey, he is working very well, driving himself to school every day, back to the classroom, teaching and doing his research. So it's not all about what the doctor says, it's also what you are saying to yourself. And so we are glad to have another male survivor today, and I will introduce him shortly. So like I said, we are here irrespective of gender, age, and all. Everybody is welcomed. Before I bring him on board, I want to, like I mentioned earlier, say thank you to everyone who has been joining us consistently, and also welcome especially those who are joining for the first time. This is just for us to unite and think through cancer. Like I said, it's every Thursday and every second and third Thursday of the month, and we come together to think through what is happening with people around the world, how are they surviving, and that encourages. Last week it was really, really very interesting when we had our Madam Laughter, who came on the call to even like we made everybody laugh, going through and thinking about cancer. So If you've not seen that episode, if you were not here last week, please, you will see the link in the chat. The link is in the chat. Please engage in the link in the chat, and would let you go through that. And then if you have questions or if you want to connect, please do so. If you also go to our YouTube channel, you would get to see exciting episode that we've had. Please join us and connect with us so that you will see we've curated loads of episodes for you. As you go through them, you're learning from other people. And this show is brought to you by Phlorish Cancer Wellbeing Initiative. And I'm glad to say that we are committed to the overall well-being of everybody. So thank you once again. And excitingly, before we join, I want to share with you that we are creating an exciting project. And this project is around surviving. How do we match cancer survivors and cancer caregivers? They will all come together in a community. Sorry, so sorry. Like I said, we are currently working on an exciting project, and the project is around how do we bring hope and support to cancer patients through the survivors. And if you already shared your contact with us, if you're a survivor and you've shared your contact with us, the team has reached out within this week, and they will still connect with you to tell you what we are doing. And if you're a survivor joining us for the first time and you want to be part of that survivors community, please drop your name in the chat. We'll reach out to you. It's not going to cost you anything, like we said. It's just how do we ensure that we are supporting our cancer warriors who are still going through the process of treatment, and just words of encouragement, holding their hands, supporting them going to the hospital, not necessarily spending money, but we want to be able to support other people. Please, if you want to be part of our cancer community, survivors community, drop your name and your email or your phone number in the chat, and we will get back to you. And please remember that you can join us or follow us on all our social media and just get in touch with what we are doing. If you have any questions, please always reach out. The team, they're everywhere to just respond to you all through what our social media platform and every other place you can meet us. And my contact is always there to listen to you, and then we will share ideas. If you have any community, maybe church, organizations that want to speak about cancer, and you are finding ways, how do I get cancer warriors or survivors, please reach out to me. I'm willing to come and talk about it. There is nothing to hide anymore. There is no stigma out there if you believe in yourself that you're going to survive it. So if you want us to come and talk about, create awareness where you are, we are willing to do so. Please join us or connect with us, and we'll make that happen. All right, we are going to start off now. Like I said, today we are privileged to have our guest. He is the founder of Afri Youth Medi, an ABU trained health educationist from Yobe State. He was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia. He will tell us what that means, because there's lots of name around cancer, the ones you've heard and the ones you've not heard before. And we are excited to speak with him today, and he will share his journey and how he has used the power of optimism to defeat cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Mr. Usman Abdulrahman on the show. Good evening, Mr. Usman.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome and thank you for joining us. How are you today? Let's start with that. How are you today?
I'm very fine today, very fine.
Okay. You are looking fine, even though we can't see your video anymore. You're
Yes.
looking fine, and thank God for your life. It's been 5 years, and we want to hear from you. What has the journey been? And maybe you can, yes, we can see you now. And then, yeah, we can see you now. You're looking good. You don't even look like what you've been through. So everyone is here to listen to you, for you to share how the journey of cancer has been with you, and 5 years and counting. What has been the hope? What has been your journey so far? So if you can start with introducing yourself proper and telling us about your diagnosis, and then we can take it from there. Thank you again and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening, everybody here. My name is Usman Abdulrahman. I'm from Damaturu, the Ile State capital. I'm the founder of Afri Youth Media and also an advocate of cancer. Since I've been diagnosed with cancer, I started advocating for the cancer and helping people with cancer, more especially those that are being diagnosed in Yobe. They are usually, even the doctors are usually referring them to me or directing them to Ile Ife for the enrollment of Gelvic program. That is one of the free drugs program that I'm currently on it, which even though I've been stopped. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So when were you diagnosed, and how did you get to know that you've had cancer, that you're going through cancer?
Yes, I've been diagnosed. Before I diagnosed, I suffered a lot. I want to share with you a little bit about my journey with cancer. The cancer. Are you
Go
seeing
ahead.
me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, during since from the month of May 2018, I started having issues with my health. I've been suffering with a headache, fever, body aches, and rapid, rapid losing of weight. And I used to struggle to several hospitals, several clinics for the diagnosis, know what's wrong with me. But everywhere I go, they made tests, several tests, but they found it nothing but they would say maybe it is typhoid. They will see some typhoid or malaria. So that is the only thing they are seeing. I suffer a lot with this problem. Everywhere I go, that is every clinic I meet, every doctor I meet, that is what they are saying, that you are well. I've been to several tests, several scannings.
Go ahead, Mr. Usman.
That they are doing in the teaching hospital of your.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah. All the cases,
Yes,
all
we
the
can hear you.
scanning all the scanning that is conducting in the Wellbeing State Specialist Teaching Hospital, Wellbeing State Teaching Hospital, Wellbeing State University Teaching Hospital, I undergo it. It is only MRI that I didn't. I did ultrasound, I did CT scan, I do echo, I do endoscopy, I do a lot of scannings, I do several cases, blood cases, and other kind of cases, but they found it to be nothing but they will just say type. But one of the things that have been seen in the during the scanning of CT scan, they see my spleen and the liver are being enlarged. That is all they say. They see my spleen and the liver have been enlarged. And I asked them what the problem, why is it enlarged? So I didn't find that answer up to now. But only what they said is that I've been diagnosed with chronic liver disease. That is what I was being diagnosed for the first time, which is a wrong diagnosis. I've been taking the drugs for the chronic liver disease for almost 4 months, and there is no any recovery. There is not any progress for the taking of the drugs of these chronic liver disease drugs. I used to go for the follow up, but all they are saying is this is your medicine. You should continue. You should keep on it. You'll be all right. That is all they are saying. But what I'm saying is there is no any progress. It is only worsening the situation. That is what that is. What that is the problem. And but they didn't understand me. But all they see is just chronic liver disease, just the enlargement of the spleen and the liver. So in this case, I go through taking this drug of the chronic liver disease up to 4 to 5 months if I do not forget. So on that process, I now started bleeding from my mouth, bleeding from the gum. So this bleeding is just like a what do I call it? It's just like a wisdom that put into the uh, to the eye of the consultant that see me that very time. I started bleeding in 2 minutes. My mouth has been full with blood, clotting. That is how I've used to almost a day. The problem just started during night. I just wake up, find my mouth full of blood. So I just terrified by the very time. Uh, I immediately called one of my friends who is a dentist. I told him, he said I should find a cotton. I put it on my mouth on the area where the bleeding is coming from. And I can't even be aware or get exactly where is it coming from. And because there's no any pain, it is just bleeding of the clotting of blood. So in that case, until morning, early in the morning, then that my friend dentist meet me in my house and just said I have to rush to hospital. But we went to hospital together to the dentist. Listen, then they started giving me an injection of that stop the bleeding of the blood. Uh, Usually it is half of the vein that half of the bottle of the injection that is supposed to stop the blood, but uh, but it didn't stop. They gave me another half, they didn't stop. They gave me full, they didn't stop. The blood didn't stop. Up to now, maybe it is getting to three bottles of the injection. One of they are in charge. That is the who is a consultant of the dentist. He said, no, this is not what's supposed to happen. We should refer him to maybe a hematologist so that he may know what is actually going on with him. So in that case, they refer me to one hematologist. I even invite him to this link. I don't know whether he's able to be yeah. So he just found it. He said this is what is happening. So he immediately he already knows the problem, what is causing this problem, the bleeding from mouth. He said this it is leukemia, your problem. I think it's a leukemia, but we undergo a test. You go and do a full blood test. So I did it. I did the full blood test. I found my white blood cell to be 222 that very time. He said white blood cell is not supposed to be more than 12 That is maximum 12 and minimum to be 4. And my own is 222. And my blood count, so that is my PVC, my PCB is down to 18. It's down to 18. That is so terrible. So he said there is no problem. This is your problem, but I will give you medicine that will take care of this problem. You'll be all right. But in that case, I told him that. But they say I'm having a chronic liver disease. He said he asked the hospital assistant to bring my folder, because I'm having a folder in that very hospital. So in that case, they brought my folder and they found it. He checked throughout my folder. He never see where they found the chronic liver disease. He said he never see anywhere they see chronic liver disease. They just tell you, well, you don't have chronic liver disease. Your problem is leukemia, and you'll be all right by God's grace. They say everything. So by that very time, he wrote one powerful medicine that I always respected. That is powerful drugs. I think hydroxyurea. He write hydroxyurea and other drugs. I start taking the hydroxyurea. Between taking the hydroxyurea and the stoppage of the blood is not up to 30 minutes. Then the blood is stopped. There is no more blood in my mouth. I start eating food. So that was the problem. He asked me to be taking the drugs up to and come back after 2 weeks. So after I come back after 2 weeks, I found my white blood cell from 222 to 113. He said this is very, very good, very wonderful result, and he never expected to be that very rapid coming down. So I said that is very good and very glad. He's also rejoiced with me. I say you should continue taking the hydroxyurea. That's why he told me continue taking the hydroxyurea until another 2 weeks. I come back, my white blood cell is down to 5. He said you are now okay. You just refer me to Obafemi Awolowo University for enrollment into the Gelvic Free Drugs Programme. That was the journey so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for sharing. This is so, I don't know how to put it, but then just thinking through what we go through because of wrong diagnosis, as in like the money being spent, the conversations, the stress, the thinking, like sometimes, I know like last week I mentioned something about like people being diagnosed wrongly and even get to a point where they will cut off their breast, especially for breast cancer, without them even having cancer. And so this one is a bit, this one is a bit, how do I say it now? It's a bit of the extreme. You know how somebody will just keep taking on drugs without knowing what is wrong with it. And I really appreciate the fact that you didn't just give up. You kept looking for other opportunities, looking for other doctors, asking questions, because that's the most important part of being cancer free. If you don't just give up, if you have to just go and ask too many people, like it doesn't matter having to go to 3 hospitals, 4 hospitals because of your cancer journey, because it's better to spend those money and find answers to your problem than not spending the money and then you are feeling you're okay, meanwhile you are not okay. So thank you so much for sharing that. That was so amazing. And then tell us from the time where diagnosed, what was the process of treatment for you? Then the doctor gave you some drugs, and then your WBC moved from 222 to 113. What else? What other things did you do? Did you go through chemotherapy? Did you go through radiotherapy? And what was the treatment plan given to you after the first stages of taking drugs?
Well, it is only the hydroxyurea and other drugs. It is only drugs I've been taking for a month. For that very month, well, then my count is coming to normal. That is the thing that happens. I never go through anything unless that one. Yeah.
So how is the treatment now? How do you feel now? Where is your blood?
Yeah. I didn't give you the story of the Gelvic. The primary stage of the treatment I've taken is not the actual therapy of the leukemia. It will weaken the leukemia to the level of taking actual drugs for the leukemia. So on that case, after the drugs I've been taking is weakening the leukemia up to a normal level, up to some certain levels. Then they refer me to Obafemi Awolowo University Hospital in Ile Ife, Osun State. So on that day, after I reached there, I undergo a DNA test and other cases that are supposed to found the actual whether or not I having leukemia. So they did it, and I found it to be true that I'm having a leukemia. On that very moment, they enrolled me into the program of a free drugs program called Gelvic. It's an international free drugs program that is given to patients with leukemia and other related diseases. That drugs is very expensive drugs that average man like me cannot be able to afford it, because in a month you have to spend 1 million naira for the very drugs that the Gelvic. Even if you browse it, you found it. If you Google it, you see the price of the Gelvic in the market. So it is almost getting to 1 million for a box. For that very box, you take it for just a month. So that is the reason why they enrolled average people like us to this very free drugs program, and we are and we are getting the free drugs. They are giving to us after I enrolled. So they give me 2 boxes of the drug for 2 months. Then they asked me to come back again for follow-up. So at that very time, I started taking the Gelvic. Then I become very okay, very fine. Even before then, my friends, family, members of my family, friends, and the relatives, they are giving out to me. They are giving up to me. It is only myself that didn't give up. But many people have given up to me, thinking that I'm going to die because of the cancer. Because if I do not forget, I send you my picture of before, during, and after leukemia. I send it to you. Maybe I don't know whether you can share with your network, so that people will get to understand how.
Please go ahead.
So after I started taking the people have given up. Tell me the truth. They even say some of my family members, they even decided me to quit taking uh, drugs, Western drugs, that is this medicine I'm using in the hospital. They said since there is no any improvement, I should take other ways. That is, even one of my brother sent me drugs from Niger, send a herbal medicine from Niger. I started taking it, and I found it to be. I say, hi, I'm a health educationist. I don't have to do something that is not very relevant to what I know. So that's why I quit that one and then keep on searching appropriate medicine that's supposed to take care of me. So on that very moment, I met with that is the Gelvic drugs. I started taking the drug, the Gelvic. On that very time, from there to now, I'm very, very okay. I even it is just like I haven't been to a cancer. I haven't been a cancer patient. As you can see me now, I'm very, very okay. Those people that are giving up, they think that they are now coming back and telling me that we think say you are going to die. We already give up with you, but it is only you that you keep of fighting the cancer. One thing I know about any disease that happens to you, you have to fight it. Don't let it make you. Don't let it put you down. You have to fight until you crush it. So that is what I did, and I believe that just because I'm having cancer or any other disease, it is not a death certificate. Even in our tradition, in Hausa, we used to say "Chuta ba mutuwa ba." That is being ill is not a death certificate. Having a cancer or any other disease is not a death certificate. So you should just keep on and keep moving until you fight it. You should keep fighting the cancer until you crush it. And I did so. I'm now very okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing. That was so profound, and I want to draw you back a little bit because the topic of the theme of this month says the power of optimism, and just hearing how you didn't allow people to tell you otherwise. You believed in the fact that you're going to go through and fight this cancer, because some of the things that I've seen over the years, like listening to cancer warriors and patients, is the kind of support system they have. Sometimes it's very, very deep, that people will keep telling them, oh, you are going to die. And them not believing in themselves, they will just give up. But what you are sharing today is no matter what happens, and that's, I think we should all just take this home. No matter what happens, what you say to yourself, and being able to fight through the whole pain, through the whole talk, whatever people are going to say to you, going through that with your mind, with your intellect, with your, like, with all your heart, and believing God for a miracle that will help you go through this journey, rather than giving up. I know, like, there are lots of people here, cancer survivors and also caregivers, and also people who are recently diagnosed. Please, if you have any question or have any comments, you can share in the chat or raise your hand using the button, and I will call you. But this is just really making me think about how so many people just give up because someone said to them they are not going to make it. And we've heard so many stories about people just thinking, oh, I can't make it, let me just kukuma die. And also looking at, will I ever survive this? Will I ever be fine again? Especially for our female, they will look at, oh, my head, my bowed hair, darkened nails, I'm very lean, I've given up, I'm giving up, I am tired. You can't be tired with things like this. Life has given us, like, everybody is going through cancer. That's what I usually say when I go out to speak about cancer. I tell them that every one of us is going through cancer. Mine could be cancer of the body, but yours could be cancer of the pocket, cancer of the brain, cancer of whatever it is. It could also be even cancer of something that you don't even understand, because anything abnormal in your life is cancerous. So it could also be cancer of just even family, marriages. We all have issues that we are going through. Are we willing? Are we willing to just keep fighting through, looking towards the future? And I just want to come back to where you talked about the 1 million for the drug, because I know there are lots of people here who are going through cancer journey and who they are finding it difficult to support themselves through this journey. But you got a program from the hospital where you've been attended. Do you want to talk more about that so that you share with people? Is this something that other people can inquire about and participate in the program? I know that recently there's been lots of funds moving out from the cancer support community, like supporting other people. But if we can get more people, and I remember last week I was asking us for support for one young lady. She's just in her late early 20s, and she's just her mother is a single mom, just her, and the mother has just been diagnosed with cancer, and she's just going up and down looking for support. So someone like that, I don't know if she's on the call, she can get maybe advice from you on how to go about even getting support for the cancer treatment. Do you have any idea? Usman, do you want to share?
Yeah, the Gelvic program is a international program that is for people living with leukemia. I think with is it it is just, I don't think whether that it is having other types of leukemia, but it is just what I know is for the people living with leukemia, that Gelvic is for them. Maybe for with leukemia, and is it there is one other type of the cancer I forget, but it is what I know the best is that it's just for the people living with leukemia. So if you are having a leukemia, so what you do is to go to a clinic or teaching hospitals if you are being diagnosed or something like that. Because you know what, there is something very difficult about leukemia, particularly. I don't know whether it is the same as other types of cancer. It is very difficult to identify whether it is leukemia or other types of disease. Uh, I can remember the time I meet with I went to the Ile Ife for this for selection of the program for enrollment of the program. I found one woman who is from Bauchi State. She said she undergo several cases. She went to several clinic, higher or lower clinics. Is it private or public clinics? They found it very difficult to identify what is actually wrong with her. She is sick, but they are having it very difficult to identify what is actually problem. So that is the problem of this problem. That is even myself, I undergo this kind of problem. But if it is identified that it is a leukemia, you just ask your doctor to refer you to Ile Ife Obafemi Awolowo University Hospital for enrollment into this program, into the Gelvic program. So that is what my doctor did to me. He just referred me to Obafemi Awolowo University Hospital for possible enrollment into the Gelvic program. That is what he did, and the time I went there, I just go direct to the medical record and I open a folder. Then they refer me to hematology department, and then they just make a tests and other things. Then they find it when the time they found it that it is a leukemia, then they enroll me into the program. The only thing one should do is to find a doctor to refer him to Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital in Ile Ife, Osun State. We went there. It is very simple to be enrolled. You just undergo a thesis. That thesis is the thesis for the DNA is maybe 48,000 or so. So if you did that, if they found it is a leukemia, then they'll just enroll you into the program and start collecting the drugs. And they sometimes give you for 2 months or 1 month. For if you are having a problem, then you have to come back for follow up. So if you don't have any problem, they will be continue sending you through courier service even my own from Ile Ife to Damaturu, the Ile Ife capital, they are sending me through Korea service. So everybody who is willing to, if he is a seeker, if he is confirmed that he's having a leukemia, or he can ask his doctor to refer him to Wellbeing Awolowo University Hospital for the possible enrollment into this Gelvic program. That is what I know about.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. I know people are listening. If you have leukemia, or if you know someone who is battling with leukemia, please introduce the person to this program. Mr. Usman, do you want to share in the chats the name of the program? I didn't get it very well. It's called Gilead.
Okay.
Please share in the chat the name of the program so that people can maybe share with their loved ones, or if we have someone going through leukemia, the person can also like share. It's very important that we support one another, because I don't know how many people in this our jaga economy that can afford a drug of 1 million naira. So please, as much as possible, we are here to support other people. Just share information and let them go for this program. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's amazing. We have Aisha Saudu's hand up. Miss Aisha, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ma. My name is Dr. Aisha Saidu. I'm from Kano. I'm a radiologist by profession. My brother has just been diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia, and he has already enrolled in the program in Ile Ife. So I want to shed more light on the program. I think the program is specific for chronic myeloid leukemia. And from what I have got when I Google about the program, there is a Hungarian lady who had an adopted son that died of chronic myeloid leukemia over 20 years ago. So she promised that nobody will die with chronic myeloid leukemia. She formed a foundation, and this foundation extended to low-income countries, and her program was adopted by a professor of hematology who is now retired, and that is how this program got into Ile Ife, and it has been running for the past 20 years, and I know a lot of people that have benefited from this program. And then for you to join the program, first the person has to be diagnosed. And most of the time, once you are diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia, the doctors automatically will refer you to Ile Ife Clinic. They will do the preliminary investigations needed, and including the immunochemistry, so that they will find out if it is positive for Philadelphia chromosome, which is which this sponsored drug is more beneficial to. So once they have this test, they will refer you to Ile Ife, and patients are being enrolled. And like Mr. Usman said, now they just send the drugs once they are sure that they have motivated patients. You know, some patients are not motivated. So, yes, so I diagnosed my brother because he complained of swelling in the abdomen, left side of the abdomen. So just after our Ramadan, he came, I scanned him, and I saw a huge spleen with a large liver. And the first thing that came to me, is it tropical splenomegaly? Is it leukemia? So I now sent him for another rescan because I'm his direct sister, so I'll be emotional. So I sent him to a colleague, and we sent him to a hematologist, one of our colleagues, and he was diagnosed within a week, because I think he's lucky we are part of the system, and within 3 weeks he was able to go and get his drugs. And like Mr. Usman said, last week after taking this drug for like 2 weeks, the hydroxyurea for 6 weeks, blood count from 200 is now 56.
Wow.
So you see, these drugs are true. They work. And part of the advocacy, I want to tell everybody that please, when you start, don't stop. Don't stop. His doctor told him that don't tell anybody that you are sick, and don't tell anybody you are taking drugs, because they will try and tell you not to do that. In my society, once it's cancer, they will say cancer does not like drug. Cancer does not like injection. So he told him, tell them you are okay, you are going to take your drugs. So what I would like to say from my experience is, please, when you start, don't stop. There is nothing wrong. He's doing very well. In this 6 weeks, he has progressed significantly. The weight loss, he has improved in weight. He's looking bright. He's doing well. So I want people around here, the caregivers, those just diagnosed, those that even they joined and they have people that they know, please encourage them. Not only for CML, for all cancers. Cancers have cures now, depending on when they are being diagnosed. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. This is just the icing of the cake. You just made my day. Thank you so much for this testimony, for this revelation. It's true indeed why we are here, because I've not even, this is my first time of hearing about this program that you're talking about. And that's how there are lots of other programs out there. But if we don't come together to learn some of these things, we would not know. Thank you so much for sharing. And we will try as much as possible. And I'm saying this to the team, to put out about this program on all our social media platforms, so that we can, use it to motivate other people to go through this journey. I'm super excited that even as I'm hearing it the first time, I feel so blessed, because maybe one or two persons would, through this information, get cured or get the help they are seeking. Thank you so much for that. I'm super glad to hear this. I've never heard about it before. Thank you so much for helping us raise your voice around this issue. Thank you so much. Okay, we have another hand up. Please go ahead to share. Is that Dr. Umar?
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Am
you.
I free to go ahead?
Yes, please.
Oh, fantastic. A very good evening to all of you, or all of us in the house this evening. My name is Dr. Adamu Al-Hassan Umar. I am the president of the Nigerian Cancer Society, the umbrella organization for all cancer-related NGOs and advocates in Nigeria. Now, let me start first of all by appreciating Flora and her foundation for this very interesting series of discussions around cancer, discussions with cancer survivors, and of course, demystifying the monster called cancer. Secondly, I want to truly appreciate my brother, Usman. Coincidentally, Usman is from my state. He's from Yobe. I'm from Yobe. And there's one thing that stands out, the confidence, the optimism, the I can do spirit that Usman has. Right from the time he was having difficulties with the diagnosis, he was having difficulties with, being to the hospital, going to the hospital almost on a daily basis. And this young man has truly proven to be, a star. I have been interacting with him over at least the past 1 year. I have been following his progress steadily. And I must confess, he is the kind of cancer survivors that we need to see, that we need to have. Because psychology plays a very significant role when it comes to demystifying cancer. Because if you believe that you can survive, definitely you will survive.
Yes.
So June is Cancer Survivors Month. So Flora, this program is timely, and a lot of things have been said. The contribution from my senior sister from Kano, who is another very resilient woman, that is from a family that is composed of cancer advocates, you know, a family that is always all over cancer, actually. I think there are about 4 doctors in that family, and I think almost all of them are doing one thing or the other in the area of cancer. And this is what we need. Why am I mentioning this? Usman mentioned the difficulties he encountered pre-diagnosis of leukemia. You see, Usman was lucky. He was lucky. He met people that were inquisitive, people that physicians that were, you know, all out to explore every opportunity. So many patients have died because of poor diagnosis. So many patients have died because of delay in diagnosis. So Dr. Usman is one of these lucky survivors that we have today. We thank his physicians. We thank his physicians at the Ile Ife State Teaching Hospital, Damaturu, for thinking deeper, for going further to truly question the nature of his white blood count, to continue to go deeper, to at the end make the diagnosis, and of course, refer appropriately. Now, the problem with Nigeria is that the manpower is lacking. Usman may be lucky to be in Damaturu, which is the state capital of Yobe. There are a lot of other people that don't have access to these facilities, don't have access to these specialists. And we really need to do so much as a nation to be able to grow the number of cancer caregivers. Because early diagnosis, like we said, is key and fundamental. Usman is doing very well, running his business, running his NGO. He is achieving all that productivity status because of the health he has gotten as a result of that referral to Ife. Many patients are dying silently. So I want to say kudos to Usman for sharing his story. It's not an easy thing to share one story. And we need advocates like him, you know, to be able to reach out, to be able to talk around cancers, especially blood cancers. We need to make more noise so that government will listen, so that government will do the needful in terms of support for these special categories of cancers, leukemias, childhood cancers, and what have you. There is a plan for expansion of the Cancer Health Fund, and the next 2 cancers that are the target after the 3 commonest cancers are leukemias and childhood cancers. So it's very important that we sustain and maintain these discussions so that we can make significant inroads in early diagnosis, in getting the appropriate treatment, and of course, in following up. When I was chatting with Usman earlier today, I told him that I'm happy you are going places. And thanks to digital technology, Flora is in Lagos, Usman is in Yobe. And we have participants on this call from Kano, from Abuja, from Enugu, and other parts of the country. and we are sharing ideas and rubbing minds. And that is how it should be. That is how it should be. That is the only way we can sustain the momentum of awareness creation. So I hope, Flora, you will not leave this discussion this evening without having a concrete plan to maintain the discussion in the coming months and in the coming years, so that we will continually, recreate that awareness within us as cancer advocates, and of course, cascade it down to others. While on this call, a great idea came to mind that I think I need to liaise with Usman so that we can do something locally here in Yobe, so that we can create that necessary awareness, particularly in our rural areas, and then probably get some form of support to maybe train health workers, especially health workers in the primary healthcare centers. One important test in medicine is that full blood count and differentials. That one test can tell a lot that is happening in the human body. And many physicians, maybe due to work fatigue, tend to wave it aside, tend not to scrutinize and see, why is this white blood cells count down or up? Why are the platelets up? Why are the differentials not adding up? So it's very important we are conversant with these very, very simple signs that we can pick from these results. So once again, before I conclude, I must say kudos to the doctors that actually diagnosed Usman, because I was communicating with him at the later stages of his diagnosis before his transfer to Ife, and I must tell you, if I talk to Usman this week, the next week Usman will tell me that I'm on admission, or that I was just discharged, or that I'm at home. But since Usman started taking his drugs and became regular on follow-up, he has been all over the place. Every cancer work that is organized here in Damaturu, you see him in the front line. Every opportunity he gets to say something, he says it. It means that we need healthy people. We need healthy individuals to maintain and to sustain this fight.
Yes.
And who says cancer survivors cannot be the champions? The best champion, the best person to champion the cause of awareness creation is that person that has suffered the disease.
Yes.
So Flora, I want to apologize to you for not being regular on your series.
I know you're busy.
I promise you that I will be peeping in, even if it is for 10 minutes.
Yes,
either
sir.
at the beginning or towards the end. I actually lost track because you have been consistent. That's one thing I noticed. You have been consistent with this discussion. Yes. And I want to once again applaud you. I want to once again, on behalf of the Nigerian Cancer Society, say kudos to you and your team for maintaining this series. And please keep it up. So thank you very much, everyone on the call, and thank you very much, Usman, for sharing your story. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Umar. This has been so amazing to have you on the call and to share the passion and the willingness, giving yourself to every discussion, to every program. I don't know how you rest and I don't know how you cope, but well done. Thank you so much for everything you are doing for cancer warriors, for cancer survivors and caregivers. We couldn't have, it's so amazing how God put you in this position to be able to bring all of us together. And every day I think about the work you do. It brings hope to all cancer survivors and warriors out there. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you, Usman, for sharing your story with us. I'm so glad, because even with what you are doing, you are able to like share the program. And I know some people here, they've learned from you, and then they are willing to continue on this journey. Thank you, everyone. I'm super glad. If we
Thank you
have
very much.
in the chat, please let's ask. If you will have comments, please let's share. And we are a bit behind schedule, but we can still have 2 or 3 minutes for people to share. Like I mentioned, we are planning a program where we would match cancer survivors with caregivers. If you're a survivor on the call, please drop your name and your number in the chat if you want to be part of that survivors community. Like Dr. Umar said, we are the one who have gone through this problem, and we are the ones to make it right. We are the ones to bring other people. There is no cancer survivor discussion that goes well without the survivors themselves. Their voices are what we need to, they need to know that we've gone through this process and we are doing exceptionally well. So thank you so much. Usman, your hand is up. Please go ahead and share.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Dr. Adamu Alasan. Thank you very much, to Aisha from Kano. And thank you very much, everybody, for the support and encouraging. Thank you very much, particularly Dr. Adam. I'm very grateful for all what you said. It's a truth and nothing but truth. Thank you very much for the encouragement. I look forward for any collaboration or any. I'm very available every time, Flora. Every time I'm available for any either collaboration or any other things with the youth or with myself. Thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. I'm very grateful for all of for everybody who's here and those that are listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We are glad that you're doing well. It's an amazing journey, and you having to keep fighting through it all and being a voice for other cancer warriors and caregivers. Well done. Thank you so much. And then I could see some names in the chat, people sharing. Please share your contact as well, maybe an email address or a phone number so that we can reach out to you if you're a cancer survivor. We need to all come together to fight cancer and join hands with those still going through their treatment and support them. Like I said, it's not going to cost you any money as a survivor. It's just a way for us to hold hands with them and let them go through, because if they know that we've gone through this, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, before you know it, that's faith will just, remember what Usman said, that people around him they were saying, oh, you're not going to survive this, you better stop going to the hospital. But he kept his faith. And those are the things that cancer warriors need to hear. And when someone is telling them, oh, you can't survive this, please stop going to the hospital, don't even disturb yourself. But they know that there is a cancer warrior who is speaking with them every day, who is supporting them. They will have the faith to go through the journey. Like Dr. Omar said, there is hope when diagnosed early. And because we are all united in this fight, everything seems to be working according to plan. So please, if you're a survivor, join us in the community. We are going to share further how this program is going to be run. And then we'll use that to connect to other cancer warriors and to say, okay, this community speaks well of what we are doing, and we want you to be part of this journey. Okay, I'm not seeing any question in the chat. I'm not seeing any comment or any person raising their hands, and maybe we can call it a night. Thank you everyone for joining. Please, if you were not here last week, we had an amazing person who joined us. You can go through our YouTube channel and listen to the testimony coming there. Last month we had our survivors hangout. It was really, really interesting, and we had somebody who is 23 years old, cancer survivor. I met her at one program that Dr. Uman invited me here in Lagos, and she was on our call to share her journey. 23 years counting. She's already a grandmother. So if your faith is still like shaky about whether you are going to survive or not, know that people have survived and they are living their life very, very well. So please join in that fight, keep faith, and understand that it's going to take a while, but you are here for something good, and God chose you for this purpose. So whatever happens, we thank God, because through it we are going to give glory. Thank you once again for joining us, and that's how we are going to sign out today. If you still want to join us, or if you know any cancer survivor, please link the person to us and we'll reach out to the person, as we are thinking on how to launch this project where we would match survivors with caregivers to give them the support that they need. Thank you everyone for joining, and have a great evening. Thank you, Dr. Uma. God bless you.
May God bless you, Flora. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone, and good night.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Usman. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your story, and for giving us that blueprint for the cancer program. We'll share it on all our WhatsApp groups so that people would get to know about the program. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and have a good evening.